but to actually think that someone would even think to take a screenshot of a video and then zoom it to where they could see the serial number. And I guess they would have to have enough of those to keep track to see what you have or what you'd used in the past. Now that's deep. Like, if that's time on your hands, like that's some real time. That's the kind of time, you know, you talk about side hustles, that's a side hustle. But that's not a side hustle that's going to pay you. So that. What's up again, guys? This is your girl Foxy Brown, and I'm back once again from the legendary house of Shay. If this is your first time to my channel, I'd like to thank you for stopping by, and I'd like to also ask you to consider commenting and subscribing to my channel. If you are one of my legendary children, one of my budgeting besties, or one of my budgeting nieces or nephews, I have a family here. I'd like to say welcome home, guys. Okay, so I'm moving along here. I just got finished doing my cash stuffing. Please watch that video and see I have $25 extra. At least it's extra. It's not less than. I don't owe myself. I don't owe any money. I don't know what I did. So we're moving along. We are now into our 52-week challenges. I'm going to do $5,000 challenge and $1 a day. So we're going to be stuffing for week number 6 in both of these. Okay, so we're going to start off with the $5,000 challenge. It's the biggest one. So we are going to move this here. Oh, what are you doing there? Okay, so when we last left off, we had $250. So let's see, I'm just going to count it silently for anyone who likes a little ASMR. Okay, I'm just going to. Okay, so that's $250. And then we are, you know, it's so funny when you're counting this when it's not as much money as when they start to really build up, and then it takes a long time. So this week so I keep the money in here for the $5,000 challenge for week 6. We have $50. Okay. Okay, so when I said because the 50 is by itself, I'm going to attempt to count odd numbers. So this may be entertaining. Okay, so 100. Okay, 150, 70, 90, 210, 230, 250, 270, 280, 285, 90, 95, 300. I think that's the first time I've ever done that in my life. Okay, so we have $300 in our $5,000 challenge. So we're getting there, right? We got 300. That was more than we had on January the 1st, right? So we have 300 there. I'm going to leave that over here. A little bit off to the side because Dollar a Day doesn't like when I do both of them, you know, because she always feels like, you know, I prefer her. So let's see, we are at $300. What did I use? the green one or blue one? I don't know. Ooh, it's smudged. Alrighty. So you see that there? At 300. Okay, so now we'll flip it over to our dollar a day, and here is dollar a day's pouch. And dollar a day is $28 for the week, so we're going to take $28 out of her pouch. Oh, there was something with this one too. I was $1 short on this one. I don't know, somehow I don't have a dollar. But I think it had to do with my Savopoly and my bingo challenge. But I just would not have gone into the money, the bank money. So I don't know. So we have 25, 26, 28. And right now we have $140 in dollar a day. So let's see where we are now. I can do another silent count. I didn't do that last count silent, did I? No. Anyway, I'll do this one silent. Okay, so yep, $168 in our dollar a day. Okay, so that one is building up too. So here's our 5K, and here is our dollar a day. You know what, guys? One day I was, what I do a lot of times, like if I'm in the house, I'll, like just to support other channels, like I'll run people, and I remember I learned this in the mukbang community. So if I'm watching a particular person and I'm doing something in the house, I will just like let their videos run. So a lot of people, I don't know them, I don't tell them, but I just, I'll just stop on somebody's channel just to show support. So anyway, I was listening and I'm trying to I was going to go back and try to find which video it was, but the young lady was saying that people, now this really freaked me out. It freaked me out so much that I actually stopped what I was doing and rewound it. So I kind of think I know who it was, but I don't want to say, because I don't want to say the wrong person, or they may not want me to say it. But she said that people were complaining, like this wasn't her, of course, it was just that an observation she had made or something she had heard, that people, because I know, it's not off topic, I have some women who are bankers in my Facebook group, and they were telling me that they were taught to count upside down. And I saw people counting upside down and I had no idea. But for me, like I can only count with the money like this and facing this way. And I don't know why. When my very first job, I had to handle money for an insurance company, and the person that showed me, trained me, she just kind of trained me that way. So that's how I always count money. You'll see if it's this way, I can't do it. If one is going one way, and I certainly can't do it upside down. So she was saying that people think that if you're doing it upside down, and not any of the women that I know, but that people are, what do you call it? Screenshotting the registration numbers, or whatever these are called, serial numbers. Like, can you imagine it? Like people, so I'm like, screenshotting it for what? So they're screenshotting it to say that people were counting the same money. Now, that is pretty remarkable to me. Number one, who is going to screenshot that? Like, that has to be a very disturbed individual, number one. Number two, who are they sharing it with? Like, is there a community of people that are policing us? Like, to say, and then like for me, like, say for instance, I have this 100 here. So what about when we change out money? Like if I had, 20s and I wanted to use this 100. So, but that really freaked me out. And I was like, okay, so that was one side of it. And the other side of it was like, are there any people that do that? Like actually do that, like counting the same money over and over again. Like, how do you get away? Like, at some point, doesn't all the money have to be where you can see it? Or, I don't know. To me, that would be a lot. I don't know. That really freaked me out because I know that people are like hypercritical of, our channels and what we do with our money, how we spend our money. But to actually think that someone would even think to take screenshot of a video and then zoom it to where they could see the serial number. And I guess they would have to have enough of those to keep track to see what you have or what you'd used in the past. Now that's deep. Like, if that's time on your hands, like that's some real time. That's the kind of time, you talk about side hustles. That's a side hustle, but that's not a side hustle that's going to pay you. So that is just, I don't know, that was something that was like kind of on my mind, to really think that there are people out there. So I mean, there must be, I guess there must be a group, who would screenshot and I guess maybe speak in a chat room, or are they called chat rooms, or a chat. And anyway, that's pretty, I don't know. I just thought that was really sad. And I wanted to say something about that before. And I was like, and I kept forgetting about it. But anyway, I'm like, so I'm definitely not going to get on here and recount. I mean, how do you recount the money? If we're showing the money in binders. And most of the time, like I said, they're out. Like, how could I switch? You can't really, and the videos are going. So I don't know, y'all, that really, really tripped me out. It really did. I don't know, because I'm a thinker, like, and I'm thinking like, who does that? Like, who does that? And then who would do that? I think it was both that really tripped me out. So anyway, this was week 6. That was just something, if you heard that, like, say something in the comments, and then, I think that people don't understand. It does, it just kind of take a lot, because people are very, very hypercritical of, everything you do, every dollar you spend. And I get it. I mean, when you put your, channel out here, you are going to be subject to criticism, which, and you'll find out rather quickly that you will be criticized. And a lot of it is constructive and it's good criticism. People have told me things like, I'll try something out, and they're like, oh, because I know at one point I was doing like this little watermark at the bottom. I thought that was so cool. But then a couple of people were like, they couldn't see the stuff at the bottom. I was like, okay. And it was true, and I did appreciate that. I mean, someone comes and say, if I spell something wrong in the thumbnail or whatever, things like that, if, whatever, things like that are fine. But when people say things, like things that are maybe hurtful or, just criticizing like how you're living your life or whatever, that's but it's to be expected. Anyway, guys, that is it for the challenges. I had to say something about that one. So I don't know, that one tripped me out. Okay, so we have $168 in our what is that, dollar a day, and we have $300 in our $5,000 challenge. So with the 2 challenges as of, it was supposed to be the end of last week. because we've already started this week. We have $468. So that's where we are, guys. I have to take a picture for my group of ladies in mind because this is what we do, you know, try to keep each other encouraged, let each other know, you know, I'm here. You know, I save for the week. And you know, another thing, guys, if this is something like, if you feel like, you know, you went into this and said, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to be able, this is really a lot. There's nothing wrong with saying, I can't, this is a challenge that I thought I can handle, but X, Y, and Z came up and I'm not going to be able to do it, you know. Or if you're not able, like, say, for instance, you know, you don't have the $50 for this challenge this week. You know, what about you just put $1 in? You know, just put $1 in here, because I think what really will happen if you don't open it up, if you just neglect it or don't go to the envelope or the challenge for this week because you don't have it, which is perfectly understandable. And then next pay period, you're like, oh man, to catch up, I'm going to have to put in X, Y, and Z. So then you don't do it again. So now you can be talking about the third paycheck. Now that's 6 weeks. So the longer you know, the more distance you put between yourself and that challenge, you're going to start saying, forget it. Let me just take this money and let me go do whatever. So I had seen this with other, when I first, you know, came into this community where people, I mean, recently, because I had done this before, you know, previously, but where they would just put maybe $1 in. That way you're mindful, you are still keeping a connection with that envelope, with the cash, you know, not so much the cash envelopes, I think it's with the sinking funds. So you're keeping a connection. It's like, okay, I'm going to give you $1, I'm going to give you $2, as opposed to I'm just going to leave it alone and not come back to it. So I think that will be really good for the sinking funds and for the challenges. So do the best you can, guys. Don't try to you don't, like, you know, this is something that's, I've said many times, what I can do is not the same thing someone else can do. What someone else can do is not the same thing I can do. So we are all on different journeys, different paths. I'm gonna tell you right now, if it were really to go down like that and I needed this to pay, you know, my mortgage, you know, my car's gonna get repoed, this is what I'm gonna do, you know, because I have done these challenges for so long, I do budget. I try to budget, and beforehand, I try to look down the year and say, what am I going to need, right? And then start to budget for that, as opposed to just using this, because these are not sinking funds, right? These are not supposed to be sinking funds. These are supposed to be savings challenges to meet a particular goal, and there's an end date. Right? So anyway, guys, I just wanted to, that was more than I was going to say today, but maybe somebody needed to hear that, you know, both of those. You know, if you're the person that's screenshotting, chill. If you're a person that's, you know, would to come on, I think if a person who's doing one of these challenges is doing that, because like from the women that I've seen and the one young man, I really don't see anybody doing that. I don't see what I mean, not physically, but I just don't see them coming across as those types of individuals. I think as far as I've seen, people are really authentic. You know, they're like, look, this is what it is, and it is what it is. So, but if there is someone who would think, you know what, I'm just going to come on here and try to pretend to do this and do that, you don't have to, because this is a community of people who understand, and even the people who watch us understand, because everybody understands money equals challenges, all types of challenges every day. We don't know what's coming down the pike, you know. So maybe, you know, like I think people would understand more if you were inclined to do that. If you came on and people said, sorry, that's my work number. My work phone, I usually unplug that. You know, people would say, I think people would be more understanding if you just said what the deal was, look, I don't have it. So, but I'm going to stay on here and I'm going to be with y'all until things get better. You know what I mean? So that's that. And then also to the person that maybe bit off more than they can chew, or maybe overestimated what they can handle. It's not too late. I mean, the challenges don't have to start in January and end at December. It can be at any time, so you don't have to feel that way. And I really don't want anyone to feel that way, because I personally have been doing these challenges for a long time, way longer than I was, on YouTube. Like this is the 8th year that I've been doing these. So I've come across all the challenges that you could come across while I was doing these things. So I, fallen, I gotten up, fallen, gotten up. So I know how it is. So just anyway, it was good. It was good talking to you guys. I got a little something, that I probably had wanted to say. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate your support and everything. So I will see you guys in the next video. Have an awesome week, guys. Peace and blessings.